Hello and welcome back to another episode of Track Talk. Today I'm here with Andrew Hess. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. So today we are here with Andrew, who is a relatively new uh, line rider creator in the scene. I tentatively say, if line rider has a scene, and he's been making some very interesting tracks. So, without further ado, let's get into Bug Thief. What was the motivation behind this track, would you say?
Well, I guess Bug Thief came like directly as a result from like my third track, Cascade. That one had some like really brief moments of visuals, and I hadn't used like a lot of green line scenery much before that point. But some of the feedback I got on Cascade were like it'd be great if I could like take some of those visuals and extend them like throughout the track, like use certain motifs like more frequently. So what I tried to do with Bug Thief was like there's certain melodic motifs that happen throughout the piece. I tried to come up with like a visual to correspond with each of those musical things that happened, and then
Right.
try to like incorporate that every time the musical motif happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's very effective, like, especially some of the kind of more illusory effects. Like, they
Hmm.
hit in such a way, like, where the music is kind of like almost supposed to wow you, I guess. But then, like, the
Hmm.
visuals are just like the one with the like the kind of grid that flips on itself or like whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Hmm.
Like, that's kind of mind-blowing. So how do we get from this kind of like Parkland scene that we have in the beginning to all that kind of craziness?
um, well, I guess it was all kind of based on the music. Like at the beginning, you hear like bird sounds and just like pleasant natural noises. Then it goes into like more electronic sort of stuff. So I tried to
Yeah.
like abruptly leave the like pleasant scenery and then go into more just abstract sort of art.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you pan a few seconds ahead to the point in the music where that happens, you have this kind of little cliff that almost looks
Oh
digitized.
yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a pretty good interpretation of that. So hit play for a minute on this track.
Okay.
Oh, I forget there's no volume for me. Oh yeah, this was one of the
Oh.
things I found quite interesting as well, was when the way you had these lines rising up and into him, which is something I
Hmm.
don't think, apart from you in one of your previous tracks, I don't think I've really seen that before. Is that just something you came up with on your own, or?
Um. Yeah, I don't remember like seeing it anywhere else. I think it was like Release Me where I first had the idea to like extend the curves with just like straight lines and see what would happen. Um, so I sort of did the same thing here. Like every time the line changes to like extend the next one, and I was like really happy with like how it approached like with the building of the music.
Yeah, exactly. You get a kind of tension where you know he's just about to hit the line, but it's
Yeah,
slowly,
yeah.
slowly drawing closer.
Hmm.
Yeah, so let's hit play again.
Okay.
Yeah, and these lines, was that inspired from This Will Destroy You?
Um, yeah, I think that was like the first kind of thing that the first track that had something like that that I saw. Um, yeah, so and then yeah, and that was like kind of the first, I guess, the like green line visual idea I had. I incorporated that a little bit in Release Me, and then used it again here.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. One of the things I also really like about this track is there's a section with these kind of really extended manuals, and they transition so fluidly. And
Like near
that's,
the end.
yeah, I think so. It's right around the section of the kind of interweaving mesh textures.
Okay, yeah, like right here, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And those little squiggles as well was a really, really effective way of syncing
Hmm.
that section. I thought like it's a really odd thing to be able to sync physically.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was mainly just like a random squiggle that's meant to match the fast music.
Yeah, for sure. Like this track was just, I guess it was just really unique. Like, can we go to one of
Hmm.
the sections with one of the meshes?
Yeah, so I guess the first place I used that was, yeah, right here.
Yeah, like how is that? I mean, I guess I can kind of see how it's
Oops.
done, but it's still just like very dramatic.
Yeah, so what I did here was I just had like a line under the sled, and then I just extended every one of those lines.
Yeah,
And since they were rotating it, it ended up looking like a grid.
yeah, that's a really awesome idea.
Thank you.
So, do you have anything you'd like to say specifically about this track? Was there anything you were trying to achieve other than what we've already said? Would you say?
Um, well, I did kind of want to incorporate just like a little bit of scenery, but like this kind of thing.
Yeah, that why was it
um,
upside down? Like it was a really cool idea actually.
um, I don't know. It was just like something that came to me. There's like a sound that happens in the music that just to me sounded like a lawnmower. So I just drew Bosch with a
Uh,
lawnmower. But I
yeah,
guess because of where the track was taking Bosch, I just ended up doing it upside down for the surreal
yeah.
aspect.
I really like the ending of this as well, where he just gets like
Hmm.
smashed against the tree.
Yeah,
Bang.
yeah, and that was mainly inspired from the music too, because there's just big crash sound that happens.
Right, yeah. Okay. Um, is there anything else do you think we need to say, or should we move on to Release Me, was it? Or should we
Um,
go to the
well, I don't know. I guess there are things that I might have changed about this track had I like
Oh yeah?
started over again. There's like a certain motif around this point, I think, just in the music that happens a lot,
Yeah.
but I couldn't decide exactly what I wanted to do with that. So like I saved it for later, then came back later, and the problem was at some points Boss is just like in free fall. Other times he's riding on a curve when like the
Yeah.
music happens, and it wasn't really transferable, so you might not be able to tell it's like the same thing that I'm doing
Oh right, yeah,
with
so
the visuals.
his position makes it harder to kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Other than that, I don't know. Oh, I did. There was just like a goofy animation I did. I think around here. Or wait.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that part. I like that part.
That was just sort of like a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah,
Like I wanted to call attention to just this like split second sound that happens in the
little
music.
like vibration or whatever it is, like little scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
pretty
it
good.
was like it was intended to be an animation kind of, but it's just going so slow that I don't know if that was obvious. And it was supposed to look like there was no effort put into it too. I don't know how obvious that was.
Yeah, I don't think I really noticed if it was animated, but like it kind of
Mhm.
looked like they were all moving around, I guess. So it worked.
Yeah, I mean it's supposed to be like one face just opening his mouth, but I don't know. It was kind of goofy. I wasn't sure if I should put it in, but my roommate said, "Well, it's a goofy piece. You
Yeah,
might as well."
it was good. Like this was one of the things that made this track interesting is a lot of switch ups in the music. Like that's
Mhm.
kind of why I wanted to talk about it first, I guess, because it's quite different to a lot of your previous tracks. Like you tend to use kind of classical music or more slow
Mhm.
music, let's say. So
Yeah,
was there anything that
and
yeah, go ahead.
well, I guess the reason I went with this piece was my brother suggested it as a piece that might
Ah,
work really well for Line Rider, so I wouldn't have known about it otherwise.
yeah, yeah.
I'm glad he did.
Sometimes when you get suggestions from people, they can turn out great.
Yeah. Hmm.
Challenge yourself to do something you wouldn't normally do.
Hmm. Right.
So, if that's all we have to say on Bug Thief, shall we take a
Yeah.
look at the flight, the fall?
Sure. Yeah, I can go to that. do we need to like play it or go to a certain section?
No, we'll probably go section by section, but first I think we'll
Okay,
start off with some general background behind this track. Like, what
sure.
influenced
Okay.
this?
Well, this came from just a song that I heard, and I thought, well, that'd make a really great line writer track. Um, the song is called "The Fall, the Flight" by the band Awake Awake.
Okay.
And to me, the song is about vulnerability, like opening yourself up to someone, even though like that can be scary.
Yep.
But like it's like a trusted friend, like it really pays off, and it's a really rewarding experience to like be vulnerable. So that's what I sort of tried to capture with the track. Like it starts out, Boss is just safe, like going flat, like to the right. And then there's a part like near the middle where Boss starts going down, and it gets faster and faster, and I don't know, like Boss is out of control or in danger. And then like it turns around at like the moment you realize that like being vulnerable doesn't have to be a bad thing. And then so it ends up, the idea was to end up with like Bosch falling upward. So just in short, to like describe that journey of like being afraid to be vulnerable and then realizing it was a good thing after all through like up and down motions.
Right,
That
that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, these kind of tracks where people try and explore like a certain feeling or a certain
Mm-hmm.
vibe always really interest me. Like there's Broken by Rabbit Squirrel that kind of also has
Yeah.
that kind of element to it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually tried to make a track a little like this one myself, although I don't think it
Mm-hmm.
was quite as successful as this one is.
Oh, thank you.
So, do you think you could show some of the yeah, let's watch like the first 30 seconds of this or so.
Okay.
Is it possible to get music as well? Or will that
I guess if I play it through my computer. I had my headphones in, but I can try this.
yeah, that works.
Yeah. Okay.
So this section is like the kind of nullness, I guess, before he's made like
Mhm.
before he's kind of made the decision. Is that the kind of vibe?
Yeah. Yep. That was kind of just, I guess, matching the like the calm of the music.
Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, that was a general idea.
Okay. Should we go ahead to the point where he starts to go down?
Yeah. It's around here.
So scared to take this place, be an open door and let you pour this light on my darkest corridor. But I can't be the me I've been before. I think the audio is coming through a little glitchy, so maybe we might have to abandon that plan.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
You want to keep playing it without audio?
I think we can probably skip ahead to the point where he's going up now.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess around here is where it starts like turning around. Or wait, not there. Sorry. This point. And that was the first time I used like the zigzag idea from This Will Destroy You.
Oh, we had a little bit of animation there as well.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so if this track has a message, would you say this is aimed at helping other people as well who maybe are watching this and maybe have similar problems opening up?
Oh sure, yeah. I guess I hadn't thought about it as like trying to send a message, but if that comes through, I guess yeah, that would be the message that I'd want to send. Yeah.
Awesome. So, shall we move ahead to Release Me?
Okay. All right. Do you want me to start playing it?
Yeah, so same format as before.
Oh yeah.
What was your approach to making this track? Did you have like a general plan or a method beforehand?
Yeah, I had less of a theme in mind for this one than for the previous one. Um, I guess the song I heard through Orange Is the New Black. It played at like a particularly emotional moment in the series, like when a death of a character happened. So it was just like a really powerful piece of music that I wanted to make a track for, although I didn't really have an idea in mind for like what it was going to mean. I just knew that I wanted to be like another like slow build, like the previous track.
Yeah, it's almost hypnotic to watch, actually.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And there are definitely some specific parts. I think is this the first track where you really started to like hammer in the kind of manuals?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like I dabbled a little bit before, but didn't really put in very much effort in making them look good or balanced. But here I did. I think this was the first time I really did a
Yeah,
considerable amount of that.
you had like single point manuals and stuff. And what inspired you to start dabbling with these new techniques, would you say?
Well, I guess just like a general desire to like try new things. Like I'd seen a lot of line writer videos before this, so I kind of knew like what you could do with it. So sort of me just like imitating the stuff I had seen. I guess I just I like the smooth motion of manuals and thought it would fit the music at that point in this track.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's interesting how people manage to adapt different techniques that maybe you might think should be, more energetic or kind of
Mm-hmm.
flary, but you've managed to make them kind of mellow and hypnotic here.
Uh-huh.
So maybe we could skip ahead to one of those
Yeah.
manual sections. Yeah, and like the way you bring these lines in as they kind of like come into contact with each other so slowly, it's like
Mm-hmm.
so elegant. It's really just
Thank you.
a pleasure to watch, quite frankly, even
Mm-hmm. Thank
without
you.
any music.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
And this was really just like something I was experimenting with. Like I had these curves already, and then I thought, well, what happens if I just extend the lines just straight from either end of the curve?
yeah,
And that's what I got.
yeah, it's super effective. Have you seen the track Mitosis by Opal Rider?
Yes,
I
and actually, a large section of Bug Thief was inspired by that.
Yes, that was something I was meaning to ask you actually, but I think I got
Mm-hmm.
the tracks mixed up because there's a section
Oh yeah.
in that really reminded me of it.
Mm-hmm. So when you go back to that and show that.
We can do, but let's we should probably stick to this track for now, I guess.
Okay, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you want to hit play?
Yeah.
So you'd say this track was more of like an experimentation in general?
Yeah. It's the first time I did like that sort of thing. That actually, I guess that was the second time I did like the zigzags for the cymbals.
Yeah.
Like I did that in the fall of the flight. But the first time I did just like the zigzag lines for the guitar, and then also the like perforated curve, I suppose, at the end
Yeah,
here.
I absolutely love that part.
Mm-hmm.
How
Thank you.
how long did that take you to make, by the way?
Um, Not that long actually. The like I'm used to drawing a line for every frame.
Oh,
I'd been
really?
doing that a lot for like some of the smooth curves in the previous videos.
Oh,
So this
yeah,
was
that
just
can
like,
take a long time. So I get,
I
I
mean,
mean,
the
go
fall
ahead.
of the flight took forever because at one point Boss was going like over 500 ppf. So
Yeah.
each line was like multiple screen widths, but
Oh, yeah,
a
that can
lot
be
slower.
kind of a pain to deal with. So when you make
Hmm.
these, because I've made some of these before, and what I normally do to save time is I just make one line and then just like remove parts afterwards. Is that what's going
Oh,
on
okay.
here, or
Hmm.
did you literally angle every single one?
Um, yeah, I think I angled each one. Like I would draw one line and then skip ahead 2 frames
Yeah.
and then draw the next one.
Oh man, that is some definite dedication right there.
Yeah, so I guess I would, yeah, draw the line and then shorten it so there's a gap in between.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, let's hit play again, I guess. But yeah, the way you synced it up with that instrument, I'm not sure the exact name. It sounded like one of those what do you call them? Spanish instruments. But yeah, it just I thought that worked really
Wait,
well.
what did you say?
Yeah, what
Oh,
instrument
thank
is
you.
that synced with though? Is it like
Oh, I think guitar, like a guitar tremolo, electric guitar
oh, okay,
is what I
yeah.
think that too.
I was way
Yeah.
off in my guess then.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, these little perforated lines, other than rabbit squirrel, I haven't really seen them really used that much. So it's good to
Mhm.
see someone else experimenting with the concept.
Yeah. And this, I mean, that was inspired from Rabid Squirrel's Ruby Falls, where he did that.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought that was like, I saw that and that was something I wanted to try.
yeah, same. Like I imitated a little bit for guitars, but not in the same way or as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so is there any other part of this track you'd like to mention?
um, I guess not. I mean, there's certain sections that were like directly inspired from some of Rabid's stuff.
Yeah, like that
Uh,
one looks like a little bit from This Will Destroy You.
yeah, that kind of thing. Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that's all. A little significant things about this one, though.
Okay then. Well, I think if that's all for the track talk segment, then we will end this segment of track talk here, and Andrew will return in the first episode of the Behind the Lines series, where we interview track creators on their kind of general approach or line writer philosophy, if I can even be as pretentious as saying that. Okay, so if you like the video, leave a comment or a like or some kind of interaction down below. Thanks for joining us, Andrew, and we'll see you in the next
You're welcome.
video. Awesome.